Hello guys, Mars Freeman's here. So today I received this cool looking package which is Rokoko Coil Pro. It's super useful device to improve overall motion capture with your Smartsuit Pro. It fixes like some drifts, it gives you kind of like your suit better understanding where it is positioned into the room, and most importantly it helps to fix arm drifting, so you can be kind of like you can clap. For example, if you were live streaming, which is like, as you all know, I have built my own VTuber. So if you're live streaming, you're on the keyboard and all that. So this should improve the overall experience and make it look more smooth, especially for live capture. So that's something we're going to try today. See recordings and see the live preview, how it works out. So yeah, let's start with unboxing and then we're just going to jump into the coil. So this is the package it came in. As I was already mentioning when we were doing Smartsuit Pro unboxing, I really love their packaging. So let's open it up. And look at that. So these sides are magnetic. Pretty cool. So this is coil. It's actually pretty heavy. It's a pretty heavy thing. So it's actually really nice design and simple. And at the bottom we can see the charging port and just a regular port, the stand for the tripods and all that. So we have that. Getting started. So instruction manual that I'm gonna just take a look in a second. Cable, so we can update the firmware before we're using it. And then their own power adapter with all the cool. This is nice. See, this is nice touch when they give you adapters for every single country, so you can put whatever you need if you're traveling and all that. Very cool. So they recommend using their adapter. So we're gonna put, currently I'm in the US, so we're gonna put the US. So they recommend to use their adapter because kind of like the voltage and all that is set to this one, so don't use something like this to power the coil. So I recorded 6 clips. I recorded 3 without a coil and 3 with a coil, kind of like testing out those main issues that I had without it, so I can showcase what I struggle, especially if I'm live streaming. In post-process, you kind of can try fix some of these stuff, but coil is going to save you a lot of time because you're just not going to need to worry about these things in general. So the first clip is standard clapping clip that I recorded. So obviously I'm not planning to clap in my live stream. It's just kind of just to test out hand placement and how coil helps to understand where one hand is relative to the other one. So if you take a look at the first clip, obviously the hands are overlapping, because sensors try to estimate, but they don't have a reference point in my room. So they kind of try to guess where my hands are, but as you can see, they are overlapping. And then if you take a look at the clip where I have configured the coil, we can see the clapping works. If I try to pull the hands together, the coil helps understand, relative location, between the hands, and they're not overlapping. And so kind of that solves the issue number 1. And because now the hands position is since the Rokoko now helps to understand where the hands are in relatively to each other, it helps, for example, if you're a VTuber and you're live streaming. So we can take a look at the next video. So here, for example, I would normally live stream, right? And I would sit down and we can see if we try to do keyboard and you want to put camera so it looks like you're playing video game and moving mouse and all that. We can see it's hands are constantly overlapping. There's no well understanding, between the heights where the keyboard is, how the mouse and all that. It looks kind of bad and hard to use that for the live streaming, unless you're just live streaming your face and raising the hands and all that. And if we now look at the coil version, when I turn on the coil, we can see, it looks much nicer. So I right right on my keyboard. Let's say I'm gaming and I'm moving my mouse and all that. So the hand relation looks more natural. So I can like, put virtual keyboard in my scene. So I can, write and move my mouse around and all that stuff, which is pretty cool for live streaming. This solves, again, like, it's also like if you're recording something like that just for the mocap, like you have your character that's going to be sitting in a computer and doing that. It's just going to be much nicer, less work for you. But yeah, Coil definitely helps. And then kind of like the last video that I recorded was having a guitar. So, so again, something like, for fun in the live streams you could do is just, play an instrument or just like, having a live band, live streaming. And here kind of like, I don't know if like my pose was different, but actually the pre-Coil version looked, I like personally better than Coil version. It kind of like looks way too low. And those inaccuracies from not having a coil looks better, in my opinion. And again, like, as the Rokoko team states in their website, like, there could be situations where, not having coil looks better than having a coil. Yeah, non-coil looked a bit better. But again, in Unreal Engine, I can work a bit with post-process stuff and animation blueprint and kind of like fix it if I want to hand up, or it's just like, I can act differently, hold that hand higher if I know that accurate, if like, the guitar accuracy just doesn't look nice. Kind of, I like that non-coil mocap a bit better, but it's just an individual thing. And yeah, like I tested also in live streaming. As you can see, it works also very well on the VTuber. I can clap my hands. And all the good stuff. I can also get up. I still need to work with the retargeting, so my shoulders look a bit weird, but besides that, it looks good. I'm pretty stoked to try it out on the live streams on Twitch and YouTube, and yeah, add some interactivity to this new addition, and I'm like really happy. So yeah, I hope this video was useful, like, in case if you are considering to get Rokoko suit or just thinking about if you want to get a coil. Coil is in an early stage still. It's fresh product, and as have information from Rokoko team, they're planning to work on it and base next products on the coil. So I think it's a good investment. And okay guys, thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.